Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 61 of Sonic Boom TV, the Metallica show. The one that all my fans around the world, all three of you, have been waiting for me to do my rankings of Metallica albums. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show my collection of Metallica stuff, and then I'll do the ranking. So if you don't want to see what I have, skip ahead a few minutes and you'll get to the rankings. So the first time I ever heard Metallica, it wasn't on the radio because they weren't on the radio back then, and it wasn't on one of their albums or cassettes or anything. It was on something called Rock Classics Volume 3. Now, Rock Classics, as far as I know, whoops, wait a minute, are these upside down? As far as I know, there were three of these, and I could only find the first two at, I believe 7-Eleven is where they came from. I don't even know if 7-Eleven exists anymore. But I think we were going on a trip to Lake Charles, Louisiana for some reason or something, and we stopped in this place to get snacks or something, and I grabbed one of these cassettes. And then I was like, "Oh man, this has got some good stuff on it. Let me go get another one." Because the first one was, I don't know which one came first, and then I kept going back every time I went to the store or whatever. I think it was 7-Eleven, and I could never find the number two. So if you got number two, and you want to send it to me, we can work something out. But let me talk about what's on these. So on Volume 1, because this introduced me to a lot of bands on these two cassettes. First one had Motley Crue's Looks to Kill, Great White, Runaway, that was the first time I ever heard them, Faster Pussycat, Don't Change That Song, first time I ever heard them, Helix, Rock You, maybe the first time I heard them, Accept, London Leather Boys, I did have an Accept tape, I don't know which came first, this or that, Dio, Rainbow in the Dark, The Cult, that was the first time I heard of them, Love Removal Machine, Ace Frehley, Into the Night, Megadeth, Wake Up Dead, that was the first time I heard Megadeth. And then the Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right. And then on Volume 3, we had Tesla, Coming at You Live, first time I heard them. Def Leppard's Mirror Mirror, Queensryche, Take Hold of the Flame, Triumph, Follow Your Heart, Black and Blue, Nasty Nasty. And I was trying to remember what Black and Blue song I knew, because somebody was talking to me about them one day. And that's where I heard it. That's where it was. That's the first time I heard of them too. And until this day, I don't have any other Black and Blue song besides that one. And I have it on an MP3. I got it the other day from the library. Then Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls, Dockin' Into the Fire, Gary Moore, Wild Frontier, Ted Nugent, Little Miss Dangerous, and finally Autograph, Turn Up the Radio. So that's where I first found Metallica and Megadeth. As far as I heard of them, but that was the first time I ever actually heard the songs. So that I wasn't into them until Injustice for All. Because I really didn't know them. I mean, it was one of those things where there wasn't a lot of exposure to that kind of stuff, and I got mostly from the radio, magazines, MTV. Or, random word of mouth was not often. So, if the only thing I knew about Metallica was I saw people with T-shirts sometimes, is Megadeth as well, both of those. But I didn't know anything about them, and it was one of those things where it seemed a little too dangerous when I was younger for some reason. I don't know. I just had that weird thought in my head. So that I got that cassette, and then I guess the next year, Injustice for All came out, and I didn't jump on that right away. And I don't know if it was before or after they did the video for One, because that was their first video. But I ended up getting it on a CD, and right there. So I got that, and then I worked kind of backwards. I went from that to Master of Puppets to Ride the Lightning, and then I went forward again from the Black Album all the way till the end, and at somewhere down the road, I acquired a couple of the MP3s of the Kill 'Em All album, but I never had the whole thing until maybe only like 5 years ago. Where I found found this CD, and it was in one of these little digipack things. Oh, drop them. So, you know, I kind of, then I was into them. You know, once I listened to And Justice for All, I was a Metallica fan, and you know, I had a lot of stuff, I guess. So let's look at the CDs I have. They were in order until I just dropped them. Sorry, guys. Try to put these back. So we got Kill 'Em All. Then Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning. This is my second copy of it because my cousin, who I used to live with, my aunt and uncle and cousins, he let his friend shop in my CD towers one day, and I had like 8 CDs that were missing. And then the reason I know that happened is because we went to this kid's house, and the CDs that I had missing happened to be sitting on that kid's dresser. But what was I going to do? Couldn't, you know, his mom wasn't home, and this dude was huge, so I wasn't going to like say, hey, give my CDs back, because I really didn't want to get my butt kicked that day. So it just, I never got them. And one of them was that one. So, but I replaced them all over the years, so it don't matter. But then Master of Puppets, the 598 EP, Garage Days Revisited. Again, And Justice for All. The Black Album, also just called Metallica. I don't know why they chose to make their logo so unseeable on that. Weird. And then I got a single for Sad But True, which has So What and Harvester of Sorrow live on it as well. Then I got this box from when I worked at a music store. I've got a much nicer copy of it that I never unfolded, and probably never will. But it holds Load and Reload. Well, I've got Reload, but I don't have Load for some reason, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to the CD. But if I find it, I'll get it. Just, you know, if I find it used, I'm not going to buy it new. Garage Incorporated, or Garage Inc., if anyone wants to call it that. Saint Anger, Death Magnetic, and Hardwired to Self-Destruct. There was a version of this that had, I think, a live album with it, and I could never find it. It was like limited. I don't know if it was just Walmart or somebody, Best Buy or somebody that had that. But I couldn't find it, and when I went finally get it, and I got this probably maybe the first week or two that it came out, they didn't have it anymore. They only had the regular two disc version, so I missed out on that. So I don't know what was on that third disc. Then, this is the heavy one. I started collecting the records maybe last year. I happened to be in Walmart, and I saw they had a couple of their albums, but they weren't the color versions, they were the black versions. And so what I did was I was like, well, let me see which ones they have, and maybe I'll think about it. Well, I thought about it for a week or two, and I went back and I bought like 3 of them on black. It was the Black Album, and Justice for All, I think Ride the Lightning, and we'll see when we go through them. But then I couldn't find any more, and I just said, okay, well, maybe they'll come out later or something. And then I happened to be in Walmart, and again, it was like a year later when the color versions came out, and I was there the day before they were released. I had no clue that they were coming out. I just happened to be there, and I go and I see Kill 'Em All, and I was like, ooh, I need to get Kill 'Em All because I don't have that one at all, and I'm gonna miss out on it if I don't get this now, because these are colored. Somebody, it's probably some kind of special deal. Well, I go home, and I was in Facebook groups at the time, music groups, and people were going crazy over these Metallica things coming out tomorrow, and I was like, oh crap, that's why they wouldn't sell it to me, and they wouldn't let me buy it. They were like, oh, it doesn't ring up, you can't buy it. I said, it's on the shelf, why can't I buy it? No, you can't do it. And they would not let me do it. Now, if I had gone to one of the self-checkout things, it probably would have let me take it, but I asked somebody about it for some reason, because I don't know why, and so I didn't get it. So anyway, I ended up getting that later. Metallica's Kill 'Em All on Jump in the Fire Engine red vinyl. Then this is the Metallica black disc, #1 thrash metal album of all time from Decibel Magazine. And then I ended up getting the blue vinyl version, the electric blue vinyl. Then I have Master of Puppets on battery brick vinyl. Okay, and then the regular one on black vinyl, the #1 greatest heavy metal album of all time. Then this one I found at a record store, and this is also a newer version. It's not none of these are original like old school. This one says the 598 EP Garage Days Revisited, available for the first time since '89, remastered on 180 gram vinyl. Still not very produced, it says on it. So that one, and then we had And Justice for All on the regular black vinyl, and it says #5 greatest heavy metal album of all time, Rolling Stone. That's pretty cool. And then I got the green one. I wasn't going to get this one on it, but I decided, so well, we got a couple of the others, might as well go get the rest of them on colored vinyl. So I've got the Dyer's green vinyl. I don't actually have all of them. I don't have this one coming up next. The Black Album. Don't have that one on any other color because I don't think it's worth doing. The top selling album of the past 25 years, over 16 million U.S. sales. Sounds like it might be a good one. Then I got Load, finally. Found that one at Walmart. That's a colored vinyl. I don't know what color it is because the sticker's on the inside. Then, for some reason, a long time ago, I got this Metallica 10-inch single for Until It Sleeps. And it's got 2x4 live and Until It Sleeps, the Herman Melville mix, and it's red vinyl. So I got that a long time ago for some weird website. It wasn't expensive. It was like a couple dollars. So I don't know. I thought I was going to like those albums, I guess, more than I do. So who knows? Then we got Reload. Also a Walmart version. Garage Inc. Everybody's favorite Saint Anger. Death Magnetic. And finally, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I thought I got this at Walmart, but I actually got this at Best Buy, and it's not color vinyl. I've never seen the colored vinyl for this one. That one has never shown up at any Walmart around here that I know of. And it's one of those ones that, it's paying for it twice is probably too much, and paying for it 3 times now because I've already got the CDs might not convince me to buy it again. So I don't know. If I ever see it, I never know what I'm gonna do. I say I'm not gonna buy things, and then I do. So now, the moment you've been waiting for: my rankings of Metallica albums. So let me put these down here because I gotta pull up my little booklet and take a drink of water. I'm not used to talking so much, guys. Okay, so I've got 12 albums that we're going over here. We're going through the 10 regular albums, Garage Days, and Garage Inc. And we'll put those in order the way that I like them. So, at number 12, like I said, everybody's favorite album, Saint Anger. I saw the video for Saint Anger, the one where they're in the jail and all that stuff, when it first came out, and I saw it the same day I bought it. I don't know if it was the first day it came out. I think it was the first day it came out. But I went over to Best Buy and I bought the CD, and I remember listening to it maybe twice. Once I was like, I really don't like this. I just don't like it. And I put it away. Never listened to it again. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was at a comic book store, and these guys were talking about it, and they were talking about how terrible it is and all that. And I was just kind of eavesdropping a little bit, and they started talking about the snare drum and all that, and how terrible it was, and I was like, that, and it's all he kept talking about was the snare drum, and I was like, I don't even remember that. Like, I don't, I just remember that I didn't like it. I don't, it had nothing to do, like, I had never heard anybody say anything about the snare drum all the years it was out, and then all of a sudden, these guys were talking about it, so went back home and I listened to it, and I was like, yeah, that is kind of weird, but that's not why I didn't like it. So this weekend I listened to all the albums, and I listened to this first. Thankfully, I listened to it first. I don't know how this album got released. To me, there's nothing good about this album except for the artwork. I like the art on the front and the back. I don't like any of the songs. Like even Frantic and Some Kind of Monster, which are kind of okay, not even doing it for me. So I don't like to say that I hate things a lot, but I might hate this album. I just might. I don't like it. So that's all we're going to give that one. Next up, the next two, kind of flip-flopped on me because I had liked it differently before I started, and then after I listened to them again, I changed my mind. So number 11 is Load. And then number 10 will be Reload. I do like some of the songs in these. These are far better than Saint Anger. But they're different. They tried to change their sound to fit in, I guess, with the 90s. It didn't work so well, as far as I'm concerned, and most other people probably aren't either. There were a few good songs. Until It Sleeps, King Nothing, and Hero of the Day are good on Load. And then, those are the three hits, I think. Maybe Ain't My Bitch and 2x4 might be hits too, but those three songs are kind of what the ones that I like and think, well, they're not technically like thrash songs or anything, but they're good songs, and I'll give them that. So, and then on Reload, which is number 10, it starts off real good with Fuel, and then The Memory Remains. Unforgiven 2 is good. And then Attitude and Fixer are good as well. And this one, this one is better than that one. Like it's like they said, okay, we got to do a little better, so they did a little better. And so that would be number 10. Number 9, I'll say Death Magnetic. Now, I give them props on this because they tried to go back to their old style with this. It's more thrashy, but it just doesn't have that thing where the songs feel right and you can sing along to them or whatever. Because like on the early albums, there were thrash metal songs, but you can sing along to them too, you know, and get into them. And I don't find that I can do that on much of this. It's just kind of that. It's not right, but I think it's better than the other three for sure. It's not there yet. I guess All Nightmare Long was the single. Maybe they had another one, but that one's a little bit better just for the effort they put into it. I think trying to be something different. So that was number 9. Number 8. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Now this one, I think is pretty good, but it's more of a hard rock thing. This isn't your daddy's Metallica. This is the new Metallica. But Hardwired, Atlas Rise. What's the other one that I like? Spit Out the Bone. They're just more hard rock songs on this one, but it's almost back to where you can sing along with them, and so Hardwired to Self-Destruct is number 8. Number 7. Now, this one is not a regular album. This is their covers album, Garage Inc. Now, I think Metallica should have stopped at this. This came out. It actually came out on my birthday in 1998. I think this is like the Bridge album. Even though it came out after Load and Reload, this takes their former style, which was more thrash metal, and then it kind of blends in the hard rock kind of stuff, and it shows their influences as well. But at this point, there was nothing else for them to do. I don't think that they kept going. I think they're working on a new album, but those last three albums. I mean, after this, you got Saint Anger, and then you got Death Magnetic in the other one, and they didn't need to do anymore. I'd have been satisfied if they stopped right here. They didn't, but this one has a lot of songs on it. The Turn the Page, Died, My Darling, Whiskey in the Jar, Tuesday's Gone. Those are all hits. Then they do the Garage Days Revisited songs. They have all 5 of those songs on here, which I don't think they needed to do, but I guess the other one was out of print when this came out, so that they did do it. Then there's Am I Evil, Blitzkrieg, Bread Fan, The Prince, Stole Code Crazy, So What, and some other stuff too. But this is a really good album. It's just like I said, it's the Bridge combining what they used to do to what they do now, and it should have stopped. I just flat out I think it should have stopped right there. But that's my number 7 on the list. Then we're going to get into where the controversy is going to start, because I know those last couple albums people kind of don't care about them so much. The rest of the stuff here is where people care, and I'm going to mess it up. So the next one, number 6, you guys, Kill 'Em All. I like this album. I do. There's nothing wrong with this album, but I think Hit the Lights, Jump in the Fire, Whiplash, Seek and Destroy is my favorite one on this, and then Metal Militia. I like all this stuff, but it's just not mine. This is not my Metallica. This is the people who were into Metallica when they first came out back in 83 or so, 82, 83, whenever it came out. But this guy came late to the game on Metallica. I came real late to this album, and I knew Seek and Destroy from something. I don't know. I remember hearing that a long time ago. But this is not my Metallica album. Nothing against it, but it's number 6. Then number 5. And number 5, jumps ahead of the Garage Inc. because it was the original version of the Garage Days Revisited 598 EP. This one has 5 cover songs, or is it 6? Helpless, Small Hours, The Weight, Crash Course in Brain Surgery, Last Caress, Green Hell. Okay, so The Last Caress and Green Hell are 2 different songs, made it to one. And they also have a little medley of Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills, I believe it is, at the end of that. But Last Caress is probably what introduced most of us, unless you were really into punk and stuff, to the Misfits. Because a lot of people will say that because of that cover, they went and found the Misfits, and that's true. And I still don't have a lot of Misfits stuff. I may have a lot of songs, MP3s and stuff, but I don't have much physical copies of anything. But I really like this one. This is when we got Jason Newsted into the band. This is the first thing they did with him before Injustice for All, and it was originally $5.98. But I never had it. I just knew it. I just heard the songs. I heard Last Caress must have been on the radio or something, because I remember that one like it was always there. So that was number 5. Number 4. What's he gonna do next? Yeah, he's gonna do it. Ride the Lightning, a great album, but it's number 4 for me. Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black. Remember some guys I know in high school, which are still friends with them, most of them anyway, they covered that at a talent show for Fade to Black. And that's when I was first kind of really hearing about Metallica, was because I had the For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I knew Fade to Black because I guess they were playing it. You know, kids must have had cassettes or something. But anyway, Trapped Under Ice, Creeping Death, Call of Cthulhu. Metallica's got some long songs, by the way, because I listened to all this stuff in like 24 hours. It'll wear you out, man. You gotta be ready for that. But anyway, Ride the Lightning is my number 4. So what's next? Controversy is coming. Now, my number 3 could be number 1, and vice versa, because this is the top selling album of the past 25 years. Metallica's The Black Album. People like to talk bad about this. They hate it for some reason. And this is a great album. Every song on it is a hit. Like, I mean, I don't know how many of them were on the radio, but every song on here is strong. Every song on here is, you can sing to it. You can rock out to it. You can do whatever you want to it. And people don't like it because it's not so much of a thrash album. It's got a little bit here and there, but it's a metal album. So it's plain and simple. It is a metal album. And the people who talk bad about it, if we put any other name across here, and you can't even see the name Metallica, but we put, Johnny Ray's metal band on there, people would love it. They would, because they just don't want it to be Metallica. That's all I can see that it is. And so, but you got, Enter Sandman. They complain about that like, because it's so catchy. It was a great freaking song. Sad but True, Holier Than Thou, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Don't Tread on Me, Through the Never, Nothing Else Matters, Of Wolf and Man, The God That Failed, My Friend of Misery, and The Struggle Within. I love every song on this album. I will never get tired of this album. I can listen to it anytime, any day, and I will love it just as much as I did back then. But it's only number 3. Imagine that. Now, what's going to be number 2? Number 2 will be And Justice for All, where it all started for me. This album also could be number 1, or number 3, or number 2, where it is. I love every song on this one as well. Blackened, And Justice for All, Eye of the Beholder, One, The Shortest Straw, Harvester of Sorrow, Frayed into Sanity, To Live is to Die, and Dyer's Eve. Love every one of those songs. I think Blackened is my favorite song on here, the first one. But I don't know. I love all of them. And this one, people say, another thing I didn't know, like, when I listen to this, I don't know what I'm hearing that I think is the bass, but I think I hear bass when I'm listening to this, and I always have. And, several years ago, it wasn't like all along, I never heard this, but probably right after I heard about the thing on Saint Anger. But people are like, oh, they cut Jason Newsted's bass out of this. And I'm like, what the hell am I listening to? Because I hear it. Like, I hear something that I think is the bass. Maybe it's guitar. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think I hear bass, so that, to me, it's there, and I can't hear it that it's not. So, I don't know. But I really love this album. This is another one that can listen to it a million times, never get tired of it. And it was the one that brought me into the band, like that really got me there. And not long after I bought this one, I bought the number 1 greatest heavy metal album of all time, Master of Puppets. Now, I know it's gained some recent popularity due to the Stranger Things show, but this is my number one album, Master of Puppets. Has Battery, Master of Puppets, The Thing That Should Not Be, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Disposable Heroes, Leper Messiah, Orion, and Damage Incorporated. Now, I love the first side of this album more than anything else in the Metallica catalog. And that's what makes it number one, because those songs, they do it for me every time. Like, they're... the second side is not as strong, I don't think, but... And that's why I say this could go from number one to number three or number two. But the first four songs, just incredible. Welcome Home Sanitarium has always been my favorite Metallica song. Then Master of Puppets and Battery, those are awesome as well. And then The Thing That Should Not Be. So, that being said, this is probably... one of the, just saying the first four songs is probably one of the best albums ever, and of course it says it on there that, by Rolling Stone readers poll. So, as far as you can trust Rolling Stone. But anyway, that is my number one Metallica album. So let me review. We've got number 12, Saint Anger. Number 11, Load. Number 10, Reload. Number 9, Death Magnetic. Number 8, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Number 7, Garage Inc. Number 6, Kill 'Em All. Duck. Don't leave me bad messages. Number 5, Garage Days Revisited, the 598 EP. Number 4, Ride the Lightning, another duck. Number 3, Black Album, or just Metallica. Number 2, And Justice for All, and the number 1, Master of Puppets. And so that's it for this. I know a couple people were waiting to find out what I would say for this. But it's just my opinion. Everybody's got one. Everybody's entitled to one. Don't need to have any hate going on about it, because everybody's allowed to listen to whatever they want, however they want, and like whatever they want. And that's the best thing. You can like whatever you want. And people might try to tell you something about it, but if you're like me, doesn't matter. You just listen to it anyway. Turn it up louder if they don't like it. And that has been 32, almost 33 minutes of me talking about what I like about Metallica. See you guys next time. I got some records coming in probably Monday, and we will talk about those. Thank you.